Welcome back to Desert Smoke Reviews. This is Justin.
Wyatt.
And Monty.
Tonight we're taking a look at the Daruma Gold by 101. I might have butchered that name, but I think that's how it's pronounced. But we're smoking in the Churchill tonight, 48 by 7. It's coming in with a nice, medium brown to almost not really dark brown, just a nice medium brown wrapper. A little lumpy. Of course, it's a hand-rolled cigar. The seams are visible, but they are done well. They're nice and tight. You don't really feel them, but you can see them. A few minor veins, but overall looks like a nice smoke. A little bit of a firm pack, and I have clipped it and I've done the pre-light. It's a little tight, but I think it'll be alright. Overall, the aroma, it's actually very nice. I get for me, it's very kind of a sweet earthiness. Yeah, kind of like a sweet earthiness and maybe a bit of cedar or woodsy note coming there at the end. But overall, very nice. And the foot, kind of about the same, but I get a little bit more cleaner finish on it. It's very just kind of clean and crisp for me. Overall, very nice.
Yeah, agreed. There's something there at the foot of the cigar and the aroma that I want to almost prescribe to like a minty sort of aroma. It's definitely very fresh, very aromatic. Just almost kind of floral. I also just get a lot of coffee on this cigar. Just really just loaded down with earthy coffee. And other than that, Room 101 cigars, to me they're really hit or miss. I've had one or two that I really liked, and I've had a lot that I didn't care for. So this cigar is going to be interesting. Funny.
Yeah, I agree. This may or may not be my first or maybe my second or third Room 101 cigar. I don't really have much experience at all with them. It's a really cool looking cigar. It kind of has that old school look that that in my mind I think a cigar would have looked like 20, 30, 40 years ago, whatever. It's well rolled, but it does have a little bit of lumpiness to it, just a little bit of give. There's no hard spots, but also no squishy spots either. And the seams are there, but you can't even really feel them. You can just see them. Maybe one fine vein that's about half the length of the cigar. It's a really pretty cigar. It's just the wrapper you can feel has a little bit of tooth to it. The band is kind of that old school flat green with the gold accent. It just looks really nice. Off the wrapper, I get a really defined cedar. It's just, you'd think that you're just smelling a piece of Spanish cedar when you hold this cigar up to you, but that's about it. And off the foot, this is me, but here in New Mexico we have ponderosa pine trees, and this smells like a ponderosa pine tree to me. Like, when you go up to the Sacramento Mountains and you can just smell the pine in the air, and then the fresh wood, if you've ever split fresh ponderosa pine, to me that's really what I get off of it a lot. Maybe a little bit of cedar, but just lots of nice pine wood, pine needle off of it, so pretty interesting. We'll see.
Cut up and lit up.
What was that other Room 101 that we reviewed?
The Master Select.
Yeah.
I have the Payback or Punchback. I don't remember. It was alright.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This may be the first Room 101 cigar I've had. I think that partly is because of my attitude towards it. I just get tired of the whole rock and roll cigars.
And the hip.
Yeah, just stop it. Stop trying to be covered in tattoos and fake silver jewelry. Anyway.
It's definitely got a lot of that crisp taste. It's kind of a quick finish for me. Maybe a little bit of pepper, but for the most part, really have a lot of defining taste.
It is very light, very crisp. Not, I mean, there's plenty of smoke, but it's not heavy or oily or creamy at all, I wouldn't say.
Call me crazy. It kind of leaves almost like a bit of a sour taste on my tongue.
Yeah.
Not a horrible or unpleasant, just a little bit of a sour taste. Not quite bitter, but it's very light, very airy.
Yeah, it does almost kind of have a sour taste. I want to think of a better word than sour.
Yeah, 'cause it's not
Tart?
tart, maybe tart. Yeah, 'cause it's not completely. It's not unpleasant. It's just a little different.
Yeah.
I like that word for a tart. Also was used to refer to a woman back, 50 years ago.
It's a tart.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it was almost like an adolescent thing. Like you could act like a tart. I don't know. I wasn't lying back then. I'd be lying to you.
You'd ask my mom. I'll text my mom and get back to you on that.
Might be a better question to Google. She might be offended by that. She might love it, but she might be offended by it.
I don't think my mom would be offended by
Just
it.
ask her what it means. He's not calling her one.
Good point. Thank you, Steve.
Well, let's get into the first third. Approach the 10-minute mark. See how this started out. Well, welcome back. We're about 10 minutes into this Daruma Gold by Room 101. So far, it's okay. It's not performing exceptionally well. My burn is off. A little bit of a tight draw, but it's okay. I can muddle through. Really, really light for me. I want to say it was mild to medium at best. The smoke's very light, very thin, no texture or creaminess to it. The flavors we mentioned, that's kind of that sour flavor. It's kind of dissipated. Mostly I get kind of a general earthiness, very, very light, and maybe a bit of sweetness on the end, but nothing really pronounced. It's really a bit underwhelming for me at this point. I'm hoping that it picks up, but so far it's okay.
Yeah, agreed. There's just nothing really that's really jumping out at me in this cigar. Not to reiterate what Justin said, but yeah, the smoke, doesn't have texture to it, and the finish for me just immediately goes away almost the second I take a puff. So far it's pretty unremarkable, but that sour taste did go away, and I'm hoping it picks up in the second half. So we'll see if it does.
Yeah, what she said.
Nicely done.
Yeah, the only thing I really had to add, different from Justin or Wyatt, is about halfway up, my wrapper started to split. It's about 1/8 of an inch or half an inch long right now, but we'll see. The burn, it hasn't needed touching up, but it's been really spotty. And the ash is just kind of flaky and doesn't inspire any confidence. And like the guys were saying, short finish, etc., etc. So we'll just see, but nothing spectacular so far.
Well, let's get into the second third, approach the midpoint, see if we get any changes. Welcome back to Desert Smoke Reviews. We're about halfway on this Daruma Gold. Still, not a lot to really update you on, and well, at least in my opinion. Cigar is still very mild to medium at best. Flavors not really changed. It's still kind of, I just get a very light, kind of subtle earthiness and maybe a bit of sweet tobacco on the end, but kind of a short finish, goes clean. Very airy smoke. We're smoking it right now at the end of the day, and this cigar doesn't really match up for that. It's a little too light. I can see it maybe in the morning or maybe in the afternoon as well. It's one of those cigars that it isn't bad. It's just not great. It's just very simple, very one-dimensional. But the flavors that are there aren't in your face. They're really not keeping your attention. It's a little bit forgettable. But overall, it's a pleasant smoke. I don't regret lighting it up, and I would, if someone handed me one of these, I'd smoke it again. But just not really living up to Room 101, kick-ass bold cigars.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. So, it's still a decent cigar.
Yeah, agreed. Room 101 continues its legacy of just really unimpressive cigars. I mean, it's like Justin said, it's not bad, but I really have absolutely nothing to update on it. It's exactly the same. There's no finish. The flavors just go quick, or go away really fast, and the construction is fine, but That's just kind of all the cigars. It's fine, but there's nothing really grabbing me.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing different I have to say is, for whatever reason, I'm getting lots of cinnamon on the finish. Not burning hot cinnamon, but just the actual cinnamon spice, if you will. Other than that, I don't have a lot to add. I've touched it up a few times. The burn will be good for a few minutes, 10 minutes, and then it goes all crazy again, which is annoying. But just a really super light cigar with a cinnamon finish.
Well, let's get into the second half and the final third. Approach the nub one. See if we get any changes. Maybe the cigar will do a 180 on us. Welcome back. We're at the final third, the nub point of this Daruma Gold by Room 101. Again, no updates to flavors for me. It's still kind of a mild to medium at best. Kind of a light earthiness and a little bit of sweetness, but almost not even worth mentioning in reality. The flavors in this cigar are so either drowned out or just really not there that it kind of gives for a muted experience. Overall, it is pleasant. It does produce smoke. It isn't disgusting. It isn't gonna gross you out. It's not something that I'd say don't try. It may be something you really enjoy. I see it more of a morning cigar, maybe with a cup of coffee, or something, maybe a scotch, or something that has a little more flavor to complement the cigar. I really don't know. But it's not really an end of the day smoke, and that's where we're with it right now. It's the end of our day. It kind of leaves us wanting more, at least myself. But performance wasn't great. I had to do consistent touch-ups. The draw finally loosened up a little bit, so that really wasn't an issue. But the ash is kind of flaky, doesn't hold together for very long. Constant burn problems. Room 101 is just hit or miss with me, and mostly mid-misses. But this cigar in particular, if I was going to rate it, I'm going to give it a 6, because it did perform okay. The flavors are okay for what you can get, and it is a pleasant smoke. It doesn't leave a horrible taste in my mouth. It really goes clean very fast. But yeah, a 6.
Yeah, agreed. Just a really unremarkable cigar. There wasn't anything in this cigar that would bring me back to it. I don't like to say don't try a cigar, because I think every cigar has their click, and I think every cigar, somebody out there is going to like it. But this isn't one that I would smoke again. There just wasn't anything about it that would bring me back to it. And again, like Justin said, it's not a bad cigar. To me, it just didn't really taste like anything. The finish didn't last long. There wasn't anything kind of unique about it. There wasn't anything that stood out. So I'd agree with the 6. I mean, it's just something that I wouldn't smoke again. So there you go.
Yeah, I simply can't say anything different than what the guys just said. And again, I'll stick with Justin's 6. Did you read it?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, in conclusion, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. But until next time, smoke them if you got them.